Area Council, distinguished invited guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. It is a privilege to address the esteemed House of Assembly today as I submit the proposed budget for 2026 for your careful consideration and endorsement. A testament to our unwavering dedication and advancing the welfare of all residents of Katsina State. I would like to formally express my appreciation to the Honorable Speaker of this House of Assembly for his exemplary leadership and support. I also extend my gratitude to each honorable member for their dedication to duty, commitment to their constituents, and ongoing efforts toward building a better future of our people. The constructive relationship between the executive, legislative branch of government remains vital to effective governance, and it has been a privilege to collaborate in such a productive manner. The support provided by this House enables the advancement of progressive policies, initiatives, and activities that have contributed to significant socio-economic development within our state. The authority of the government is derived from its citizens. I would like to express my appreciation to the people of Katsina State for their patience and perseverance as efforts continue towards progress and better future for everyone. The continued support of the community is fundamental to the strategic and implementation of our initiatives. Mr. Speaker, sir, and esteemed members, each project is carefully crafted to serve the best interests of our constituents. Our administration remains committed to these principles in all our actions. The primary objective is to establish ourselves as leaders in participatory budgeting within Nigeria, and this commitment is reflected in the current budget. As this House is aware, I personally oversaw the budget participation exercise across the 361 wards. This initiative marks an important step towards developing a genuine people-oriented or focused budget, represented a notable first in our state. The community-based need assessment survey of 6,649 households across all the 361 communities to determine the problem they face and solutions they want. Our local government area has the highest respondent with 4.3%, while Katsina local government has the lowest with 3.3%. All local governments were adequately and statistically represented for the survey. We also organized a town hall meeting in all the 361 wards to identify communities' priorities in 2026 budget. Mr. Speaker, the town halls have a total count of 71,384 people based on the attendance recorded with Ward A having the highest attendance and slightly with the lowest attendance of 67.9%. While males are 32 in number, while males were 67% and females were about 33%. The youth were all represented with 43.5% and people with disability represented with 4.9%. officials are being recruited and trained, and ongoing investment in sector reform aim to further improve the effectiveness and efficiency of education delivery. We will revolutionize the sector as reflected in 2026 budget. Education continues to be the central focus of this administration agenda. Healthcare sector plan under this administration aim to establish Katsina State as a center of excellence for health care in Nigeria. Our commitment is to provide residents with access to high-quality healthcare services across all the wards, while enhancing capacity of our secondary health institutions. Significant investment has been made to improve diagnostic capacities or capabilities, and we continue to collaborate with international organizations to strengthen hospital infrastructure efficiently and cost-effectively. In 2025, wheat farming season was highly successful due to our farmer-focused policies. We supplied improved seed, fertilizer, equipment, and irrigation pumps, and increased extension workers to support agriculture. As agriculture is vital to livelihood, we will continue prioritizing it with new initiatives for mechanization, community-based seed development, foreign investment, and coordination next year, inshallah. Our approach to agricultural development will be completely holistic as we move from empowering farmers to building sustainable and profitable agricultural value chains. Mr. Speaker, budget goals on some policies and programs are more likely to succeed. My administration has always been policy-driven, and I must commend my team in our effort to ensure our policy execution strategy remain entirely focused on the benefits to our people. We have developed policies for community based on budgeting and digitalization and supporting startups for accessible mechanization. We are supporting internally displaced persons for sustainable school building, for advancing healthcare in our rural communities, for enhancing education management, for fighting malnutrition, and for state identified management, among others, in all the past years. The challenges. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the significant challenges confronting our nation are well organized, both globally and domestic influences. In fact, our status and effectiveness of the project and program implementation. Nevertheless, we are pleased to report that despite these numerous obstacles, substantial progress has been achieved across all priority areas. National challenges around inflation persist despite the relative stability of Naira. We are happy to report that food inflation is being arrested, but the hardship of our people face remains significant. For this reason, my administration has continued to provide improved access to social care for our most vulnerable people. We are also exploring ways to reduce costs of energy and transportation to reduce the burden on people and businesses. Frontline local governments have faced challenges caused by insecurity. However, progress in addressing these issues has enabled our farmers to increase productivity and overcome obstacles. While elements of criminality may continue, we remain confident that such activities will not impede us from reaching our objectives. We are committed to working diligently to ensure that Katsina State continues to be a vibrant and attractive destination for investment in this country. Community need assessment and town hall will conduct us reveal vital information about the challenges our people face in each community. While it is easy to speak to challenges in education, healthcare, infrastructure, water and sanitation, climate change, and having concrete data to point our focus and priority at the community level will be invaluable to overcoming those challenges. Mr. Speaker, basic infrastructure is the backbone of every community. It comes to as no surprise that it was the most requested category from our town hall meeting with 20.6%. Many of our respondents reported that basic infrastructure was either poor, fair in their communities. The most requested basic infrastructure include access to roads, drainages, market and public transport. Street lights will double our effort through the Community Development Program, CDP, to expand access to basic infrastructure while we continue to expand the linkages and energy infrastructure across the entire state. The needs assessment and town halls have provided insight that has helped shape the 2026 budget. We will also use community data to prioritize all intervention to ensure that communities are given what they have requested. We have collected data across the key sectors including agriculture, MSME, women empowerment, environment, climate change, and security. The 2026 budget is truly the most participatory budget in the history of our dear state, Katsina. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, a review of 2025 budget performance. Honorable members, we have carefully monitored the budget performance on a quarterly basis to ensure we are implementing our project and program according to the requirements of the law. I shall present to you the performance for the year 2025 compiled up to the last day of August, that is last day of August. As you are all know, the final 4 months of the year also tend to be the best performing as projects are completed, so we are expecting a significant improvement over our already impressive performance. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the 2025 budget sought to improve access to education, healthcare, water, social support, agriculture, among others. We also aim to boost internally generated revenue and block leakages in all areas of government. We have been able to make considerable progress in all fronts, thanks to the support of this House. It is my great pleasure to present the highlights of the 2025 budget performance to the Honorable House as follows. The total recurrent revenue as expenditure as of August 2025, recurrent revenue including opening balance is a total of 253 billion, 902 million, 899,659.60, representing 48%. 220 billion and 26 million, 666,079 naira.38 state government share from PAC, which represents 56%. 33 billion, 876, 233, 580.22 independent revenue, which represents 49%. 39 billion, 446, 053, 104.22 capital receipt, representing 20%. The state has a positive inflow from both statutory and special allocation from PAC, resulting to higher performance in this significant to the budget. This accounted for the need of a supplementary budget proposal to the State House of Assembly, which you graciously from East and Grand Capital Investment Component of 2025 budget is helping in streamlining the record of the state capital received revenue generation. Our revenue performance was instrumental to our ability to implement impactful projects and programs for the benefit of our people. The unprecedented revenue performance was also reflected in our expenditure performance for the year. We have achieved an expenditure performance of 66.4% as we continue to complete several projects before the end of the year. We expect this figure to close much higher in our last quarterly report of 2025. The state capital investment have a record of 60% against the revised budget in July this year. I wish to draw the attention of the House that the government has expended substantial funds in supporting other non-salary recurring expenditure in education, operations, and other social services, which include urban renewal initiatives and the payment of several years of pension and gratuity liabilities owned by the state right from 2019 to date. We plan to clear all outstanding liabilities for the state government by December 2024 and the local government by July 2025, which has all been done. The payments are not only an obligation onto those who give their lives to public service, but catalysts to local economy. We also expanded significant funds from foreign scholarship to training much-needed lectures and other specialists for the state. The recurrent and capital expenditure is to the tune of 171 billion, 31,600,578 naira, 0.52, with an overall of 24.7%, which is breaking down as follows. Recurrent expenditure at 79 billion, which represents about 50.3%, and capital expenditure was 91 billion, which represents about 71.1%. 25 junior secondary schools and 30 senior secondary schools in the Phase 1 Agile project. Provision of classroom furniture of about 30,600 sets of 3-seaters, teachers' desk chairs and laboratory furniture to the tune of 2.7 million. Procurement of 10 kVA solar power system with accessories, material and installation at 170 pilot schools across the state. Rehabilitation and renovation of various secondary schools across the state to the tune of 353,732,422 naira. Payment of SSCE and WAEC, NEPO, NAPTEP and MEAIS to the tune of 2,071 million. School improvement grant to primary schools in the state by State Universal Education Subeb to the tune of 6,289,888,523. Provision of 50 desktop and 50 laptop computers to 12 zonal offices and TSB and State Technical Science Board. Procurement of primary school textbooks, payment of student allowances, educational assistance to various entities of the state, both local and abroad, to the tune of 822 million. As promised in our strategic policy, we are beginning construction of 3 model schools with 1 in each senatorial zone. Those schools will offer world-class education for the gifted and the best performing children of the poor, entirely on merit. The model schools are now completed and should commence in the next few weeks. Mr. Speaker, sir, our intervention in the educational sector is impacting positively in the congested classroom and improving pupil-teacher ratio, increasing enrollment rate, and much more. We are confident that our upcoming comprehensive policy for the sector will accelerate results in the education sector. Healthcare. Healthcare remains one of the critical sectors of this administration as we set up to build the best healthcare service in Nigeria. Implementing the 2025 budget allowed us to achieve significant milestone in our target of having at least 1 comprehensive healthcare facility in each of the 361 wards in the state, with 1 general hospital in each of the 34 local governments. So far, 261 were completed. Mr. Speaker, Honorable House, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Katsina State currently has the highest number of primary, secondary, and tertiary health institutions in Nigeria, with total of 1,751, out of which over 85% are functional. This administration has awarded construction and equipping of drug manufacturing factory at General Amadeni Hospital. Supply and installation of echo-radiotherapy machines to the imaging center at General Amadeni Hospital to the tune of 7.717 million, 450,000 only. Procurement of Siemens laboratory diagnostic equipment for imaging center at the cost of 2,226,824,839 naira only. Upgrade of primary healthcare to functional comprehensive healthcare centers has also been done. To ensure quality and evenness in the provision of healthcare facility, the government has settled the procurement of nutrition pathologies to the tune of 500 million. The outstanding balance of the upgraded comprehensive primary health centers at Zambu, Baskari, Charity, Dandube, Yaura, Mayadwa, and Mani local government administration has prioritized ensuring access to potable drinking water, particularly as groundwater becomes increasingly scarce and costly for our students. Additionally, we are addressing environmental concerns by responding proactively to the challenges posed by climate change, environmental degradation affecting many of our communities. Some of the key projects in water and environment during the period under review include construction or completion of the construction of Dandia Dam and provision of access road to the tune of 3.7 billion. Procurement and distribution of diesel across various water stations to the tune of 1.4 billion. Procurement of water treatment chemicals. Katsina State Storm Drainage Management Phase 2 costing us about 959 million. Rehabilitation of our water supply scheme to the tune of 126 million. Rehabilitation of Mashi and Shi Dam to the tune of 119 million. Procurement of water treatment plants to the tune of 126 million. Provision of water supply to imaging and pharmaceutical sector attached to the cost of about 99 million. Agriculture. My focus on agriculture is temporal as we seek to improve the productivity of farms, reduce post-harvest loss, and improve value addition on our farm produce. We have expanded unprecedented amount of purchase and distribution of farming equipment or implement to farmers to achieve our target. We have Allah to thank. We thank Almighty Allah for productive farming season. Food security is key to sustainable development, and our investment in the agricultural sector will have impact beyond the borders of the state. The government has made the following investment in agricultural sector. Procurement of fertilizer, about 400,000 bags of fertilizer were distributed to each polling unit in the state in the 2025 budget planning season. Conducted training of 102 qualified candidates from Songhai Farm to the tune of 204 million. Supply of directors and implement an ultra-modern Katsina State Agricultural Mechanization Center at Teshabala along Kano Katsina Road. Construction of ultra-modern Katsina State Agricultural Mechanization Center at Teshabala along Kano Katsina Road, and also construction by all the 34 local governments a mechanization center in those various local governments. To date, my administration has allocated a total sum of 34 billion, 677 million, 597,666 toward environmental and climate change initiatives, rural and social development. The sum of 6 billion, 937 million, 646,024 naira or 394 has been expanded for the construction and provision of rural access road to ease movement of agricultural and marketing activities across the state. Security. Mr. Speaker, our community-driven approach to security is now widely adopted. I appreciate the members for support for the community watchdog legislation and increased state funding for security. While we have made progress, further action is needed to fully address the insecurity in the state. We have implemented the following measures as part of our security plan for 2025. Engage and train community 1,100 community volunteers, work closely with community watch in various capacities in all the frontline local governments and vulnerable local governments. We launched sustained joint security the security operatives in the state. Land acquisition and compensation for development projects across the state, emergency response statewide road repairs and maintenance, which cost us about 1.652 naira and 8.85. Flood and erosion control across the state to the tune of 1.9 billion. Execution 132,718 naira point 38. An IGR component, that is internally generated revenue, is 88 billion 518 million 127,112 naira point 84. This has an increase of 117 billion 738 million with an increase of 26%. Capital receipt stood at 292 billion 143 million 818,450 naira point 87. Total recurrent expenditure is 167 billion 725 million 372,456.50, comprising personnel cost, which is 72 billion 223 million 440,592 naira point 34. Other recurrent overhead cost is 95 billion 501 million 931,860 naira point 16. Total capital expenditure is 730 billion 139 730 billion 139 million 705,823 naira point 55. The 2026 capital expenditure has an increase of 195 billion 865 million 11,324 naira point 04. That over that of 2025 with an increase percentage of 27. Sectoral allocations. Administrative sector has 177 billion 268 million 291,781 naira point 82, which represents 19.72%. Economic sector, which has 371 billion 853 million 813,800 on